Hello, welcome to CKE 10,000 Once Gaming Channel. In this video, we'll be looking at my Adventure Time English Weiss Schwarz deck profile. Just a few notes before we start. The deck, when it works very well. When it doesn't, it's kind of a struggle to keep up with obtaining plussing advantage cards. In other words, hard to keep up with cards. The main focuses of the deck are, stock compression, building stock, and memory compression, and you try to rely on that to get your brainstormers to plus because you don't run a plussing combo. Okay, so let's begin with the deck profile. I'm running 3 copies of Wildberry Princess. It has 2 effects. The first is when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. The second effect is when this card becomes reversed in battle, you can pay 1 stock, discard a card, put this card into your memory. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 ooh character, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's a memory compression tutor and bomber, very good card. Then I'm running 3 copies of the Brainstormer, Marceline, I Remember You. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous memory. If Remember You event is in your memory, this card gets continuous assist. All your characters in front of this card get plus 5 power. And it's the pay 1 rest this card, salvage character, Brainstormer. I'm running 3 copies of Slime Princess, more memory compression. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, put the top 2 cards of your deck in your waiting room. If there's climax among them, choose one of your characters, and that character has plus 1500 power. And when this card becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an ooh character or King of Schemes, you may put this card into your memory. Running 2 copies of Flame Princess. During your turn, all your other characters with Finn in its card name gets plus 1000 power, and it has auto. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one Scarlet, the Golden Sword of Battle event in your waiting room, and return it to your hand. Then I'm running 2 copies of the Ricky Finn Heroic Pose. It has 2 effects. The first is continuous during your turn. If you have 2 or more other ooh characters, this card gets plus 2000 power. And the second effect is when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, take a hit. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 level 1 or lower character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Then I'm running 2 1-ofs at level 0. I'm running Ice King Past Self. 2 effects. The first is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose I Remember You event in your waiting room, return it to your hand. The second effect is when this card becomes reversed in battle. If you have 2 or more other ooh characters and your 2 or less cards in your memory, you may pay the cost, which is discard an ooh character from your hand into your waiting room and put this card into your memory. If you do, search your deck for 1 character with Marceline and its card name from your deck, add it to reveal it to your opponent, put your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then 1 copy of Joshua and Margaret, which is on play. You can pay 1 bond to Finn the human and Jake the dog. And the first effect is when this card is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card. If you do, choose a Demon Sword event in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Then I'm running 3 copies of the Scarlet, the Golden Sword of Battle event. It has its effect is put this card in your memory. When you use it, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an ooh character or event, put it into your hand. And in continuous memory during your turn, if this card is your memory, all your ooh characters get plus 500 power. So it refunds itself and stays in memory. Then I'm running 3 copies of Finn, Trusty Weapon. Continuous memory, if Scarlet Sword of Battle is in your memory, this card gains the following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put the top card of your deck into your stock. Then running 3 copies of Princess Bubblegum. It has 2 effects. The first is this ability activates up to 3 times per turn. When your other character is placed on stage from your waiting room, this card gets plus 2000 power. So when you stand by with the standby climax, it gets power. And climax combo, when silence is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage and you have another ooh character, this card gains the following 2 abilities until end of turn. When this card attacks, you can pay 1. If you do, during that attack, perform trigger check 2 times on the trigger step. And at the end of this card's attack, you may choose 1 ooh character in your waiting room and put it in your stock. So your level 1 combo builds stock, but doesn't plus you cards. I'm running 2 copies of the I Remember You event. Choose 1 ooh character in your waiting room, return to your hand, and put this card to your memory. Auto memory. At the beginning of your main phase, if this card is in your memory, you can pay the cost, which is put 1 climax from your hand into your waiting room. If you do, return this card back to your hand. So it acts as a discard outlet for extra climaxes in your hand. Now I'm running 2 copies of Jake Demonic Disguise. When this card becomes reverse in battle, if this card's battle opponent is higher than your opponent's level, you may put that card into your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into his or her waiting room. Then our standby targets. I'm running 2 copies of Marceline Monstrous, Continuous during Continuous. This card gets plus 1,000 power for each of your other OO characters, and Continuous, if you have 2 or more other OO characters, this card gets auto Encore, and Encore. Then I'm running 3 1-ofs at level 2. We have Ice King, I Remember You. 3 effects. All your other OO characters or fanfiction characters get 1,000 power. If you have another Marceline, I Remember You, which is the Brainstormer, all your other characters get plus 500 power. And activate, pay 1, discard a class, choose one character in your room, return to your hand. Then Demon Sword event, Demon Blood Sword. Choose one of your characters and put into a room. If you do, choose up to 2 of your opponent's characters, return them to his or her hand. And then 1 copy of Lady Rainicorn. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 stock. If you do, shuffle the cards from your room back to your deck. Then level 3, I'm running 2 copies of Jake the Dog. If you have 4 more OO characters, this card gets minus 1 level in your hand. This card gets 500 power for each of your other OO characters. And when this card is placed on stage for your hand, look at the X cards from top of your deck. Choose 1 card from one, put it in your hand, put the rest in your waiting room. X equals the number of OO characters you have. Then 2 copies of Princess Bubblegum, Beauty and Brains. If your waiting room has 2 or less climaxes, this gets minus 1 level. And when this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can discard a card. If you do, heal to stock. And then 2 copies of Princess Bubblegum setting off on a quest. It has continuous assist. All of your characters in front of this card gets plus 2,000 power, and the following ability: when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character in your opponent's memory. And then the other effect is when this card is placed on stage from your hand, draw a card, choose 1 card in your hand, put it in your waiting room, choose up to 1 of your opponent's characters, and return it to their hand. And then the level 3 finisher, I'm running 3 copies of Finn the Human and Jake the Dog. It has continuous experience. If the total level of cards in your level is 4 or higher, this card gets plus 2,000 power. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you can heal 1. And the third effect is the Climax combo. When this card attacks, if the Call of Adventure is in your climax area and all your characters are OO, you may pay the cost, pay 2, put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. If you do, this card gets the following 2 abilities until end of turn. This ability activates once per turn. When damage dealt by this card is cancelled, you may deal 1 damage to your opponent. And at the end of this card's attack, deal 2 damage to your opponent. It's a very aggressive finisher. Kind of the main reason I wanted to build Adventure Time was because of this level 3. Then the last 8 cards are the class cards. I'm running 4 copies of Science for the level 1 combo. And 4 copies of the Call of Adventure, which is the Choice Climax for your level 3 combo. Alright, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, check EncoreDecks.com and the link in the description below to see an overview of this deck build.